punching teams in the mouth right away. But that is also a trademark of SMU, one of the best serving teams in the country. We're underway in this 3 out of 5 set match. Vasquez Gomez attacked, but we had a net violation on SMU, so Pitt will get the first point.
When you're playing the #1 team in the country, one of the biggest things you have to focus on is staying clean on your side. Because Pitt is not going to hand SMU a lot of points, the Mustangs have to play clean.
Sam Erger putting SMU volleyball on the map last season was one for the record books when they made the NCAAs and won a round. And she is continuing that this year. They are ranked now 15th in the country, highest ranking in program history. SMU on the right, Tabron with the swing and the kill, hitting hands, point SMU. And I know you think a lot of Sam Erger, Emily.
Sam Erger has continued to build this program up. What I love about her is she has so much confidence in not just SMU as a whole, but this team, this program, and the ability to become like a Pitt or a Louisville. She said if they can do it, why not us?
She just got her 60th win as SMU coach last weekend. Stafford on the attack, that's kept alive by Chimay. Bree Kelly out of the middle.
This is what makes Pitt's offense so dynamic. They don't just rely on Olivia Babcock or Tori Stafford. Pitt has weapons all around that they're going to continue to utilize, especially in the middle. Bree Kelly up front, she's lethal when the ball's in her hand.
You know, it just dawned on me, Emily, I can't remember the last match I've gone into without a team that's been experimenting with the 6-2. Not these two. They are very set with the one setter, two of the best in the game on each side of the net. Rachel Fairbanks for Pitt and Celia Cullen for SMU. Point SMU. Chimay getting that kill.
What I love about Celia Cullen, something to watch on SMU side, number 3 in black, she side sets a lot of balls. So if her feet is off, she doesn't necessarily square her shoulders. She's able to side set a ball from right back corner all the way to her outsides and left front.
You need to trademark that phrase, Emily, because you're the first person I've ever heard describe it that way, but it's perfect. And I hope we get a lot of side sets tonight. Another middle attack, that was from Ryla Jones. Blocked by Pitt. Libero putting it up to number 15 in black, and putting it down is Jams Wheeler, the senior from Austin, Texas, has raised her vertical from 9-11 to 10-5.
Definitely helps when you're jumping up like that. One key for SMU tonight was to swing at the block high hands every single shot. Good job starting off that way for the Mustangs.
Tabron serving, good serving is what beat Nebraska, and there's an ace right away for Tabron and the Mustangs.
Watch SMU to throw in a lot of drop serves, meaning they're dropping right in front of the passers on the other side. That takes Pitt completely out of rhythm. Then they can't run the efficient offense that we know the Panthers can.
Is there any danger in doing that?
Sometimes you might miss short, but also if you miss deep, you're putting it right on the passer.
Fairbanks putting up the set. Stafford, too much power, but good D by SMU. They'll go again to Stafford. And this time Stafford terminates.
Tori Stafford has been one of the most impressive players this season. Just when you look at her numbers from last year, the efficiency she's hitting at this season, 425 as an outside attacker. Those numbers are not something you normally see from a pin. Maybe a middle if they're having a good season, but she is one of the best outside attackers in the country right now.
Babcock, her first serve just goes out. Remember, she had a Pitt program record 12 aces in that triple-double match. Babcock, that was against Boston College, the rare triple-double, especially when you consider it was kills, digs, and aces. SMU up by 2 here in the opening set. Babcock out of the back row. Good swing by Wheeler, and then bumped over by the setter, Fairbanks. You have to keep your eye on her. She will attack.
When Fairbanks is up front, SMU has to make sure that they are ready for this back row attack. What Fairbanks did so well in this play was she was 5 or 6 feet off the net. You don't expect setters to make that kind of play off the net.
Fairbanks, ACC Setter of the Year last year, also a 2-time gold medalist for the U.S. U21 team. Good block by Pitt. SMU keeps it alive, but it eventually goes out. And Pitt coming back to tie the score at 5.
Pitt's block is just so good. It is stifling up front. When they know where that ball is going, they do a great job shutting it down.
Yeah, Wheeler denied on this attack. And already we're tied for the third time. Good swing by Foster. And SMU goes back out in front as Klicka unable to defend that.
Such an impressive set from Celia Cullen. Watch her take this over her shoulder and get her middle of the ball. Those are those side sets that we're talking about, where she goes over her shoulder rather than squaring them up.
Chimay back to serve. Serves at Klicka, the libero. Fairbanks to Valeria Vasquez-Gomez. Cullen with the set, the tip goes over. Vasquez-Gomez again to the corner, just missed it.
SMU already doing a good job in the first part of the set, keeping all the pressure on the Panthers, getting everything up on their side, and forcing Pitt to try to make a play.
A lot of connections between Sam Erger and Dan Fisher, though this is the first time their teams have ever played each other. And Babcock hit high hands, got the touch, and that's a kill for Babcock. And
just veteran swing in the backcourt. And Babcock, just a sophomore, but she makes swings that a lot of fifth years don't even make.
Every time I watch her play, Emily, I feel like she just plays on another level.
Yeah, she absolutely does. She is that true physical, I'm going to attack, run this ball down your throat kind of opposite that we see at the professional level, but not a lot in the college level.
Dylan Griffin back to serve, wearing the libero jersey. You can use two this year in volleyball, so Klicka was the starting libero, and now Griffin moves into that role. They play back row the whole time. Foster over the block. Point SMU. SMU, Emily, in your opinion, what is making them so good this season?
It's really their all-around play. They have a lot of veteran experience. Yes, they might have transfers coming in the first time with this program, but they've had players that have played at a high level season after season. They know what it's like to play the best opponents, and they don't shy away from anyone.
I think that's a key, being fearless. There's really no intimidation at all. Vasquez-Gomez successful on that attack, and one of the most popular players here at Pitt in her 6th season. An All-American who's hoping to turn pro after this season. I was thinking before the match, Emily, this match features future All-Americans, professionals, and maybe even Olympians.
Oh, yeah.
Fairbanks with the serve. The approach dug up by Klicka, who's backing on the court as the libero. Stafford out of the back row. Too much power for Stafford.
Pitt's offense is so dynamic. Not only do you have to worry about Babcock when she's in the backcourt, but Tori Stafford as well coming through middle back. Just a phenomenal transition play. Klicka amazing up, and Rachel Fairbanks knows she still has 4 options with Tori in the back.
Good serve from Fairbanks, and that's the ace for Pitt. That's the first service ace for Pitt. And Pitt finally has the lead. They have not led since 1-0. Fantastic crowd as always here at Pitt volleyball matches. The #1 ranked team in the country and undefeated. Been in the last 3 national semifinals, only program to do that. Still looking for that title. Back row attack, Chimay missed it, no touch, point Pitt.
That's a really good run from Chimay in the backcourt, barely missing long. Those are the mistakes that you're okay with because you're getting after it.
Yeah, there's no holding back on this SMU team. Fairbanks having a nice service run here. Fairbanks, one of the better servers on this team. Just pinpoint accurate. Left side attack blocked. And one more time, Tabron just can't get it to go down. Overpass, but in the net was SMU, or excuse me, double contact called on SMU, so the point is given to Pitt. And Pitt is in the midst of a 5-0 run right now.
That's a lot from Fairbanks on the back line, but man, this Pitt block up front, they are a brick wall. Nothing is getting past them. SMU's coverage has to be there every single time.
Pitt, again, has won the last 5 points, picking up some momentum. This first set very important for SMU. Fairbanks To Vasquez Gomez, and she terminates from that left side.
Little no-looky cookie from Vasquez Gomez on the outside. Everything about that showed she was hitting it cross-court. Brings this ball right past. There isn't a big glaring hole, though, that Pitt has. They want to figure out the little things and just making sure they have those down pat, because Pitt's a tough team to beat right now. They're good on both sides.
Vasquez Gomez waves her finger, says, "Not in my house."
7-0 scoring run for Pitt. Rachel Fairbanks doing a phenomenal job on the back line, forcing the pressure on SMU. Yeah, not in my house.
What a service run, as you mentioned, from Fairbanks. Cullen puts up the set, and the attack on the left side is out. No touch. Tabron missed it. She was trying to hit hands. And the Fairbanks service run continues. Pitt right now here in the opening set in the midst of an 8-0 run, and they are hitting .438. Only one error from Pitt in terms of attacks. And finally, Fairbanks gets off the service line.
That's a big break that SMU needed, because starting off this set down 14-9 at one point, they have to find a way to turn it on. It has to start now.
SMU with one ace so far. Again, they are a very good service team. 11 aces over the weekend against Boston College. And there's one, a second one, and that is rung up by number 11, Natalie Foster, the senior from Michigan, transfer from Wichita State. She's a middle, and Emily Samberger was telling me she did not serve at Wichita State, but that is one of the things they worked with her the most when she entered the program, and now she's one of the best servers in the ACC.
One of the best servers in the country. I mean, she rips it on the back line.
Fairbanks pushes it out. Bree Kelly, a little mistime communication there. That's a rare losses this season to Hawaii, LMU, and Kentucky. And that goes out, point Pitt.
Good timeout taken right away from Coach Fisher. Didn't let SMU go on too long of a run before he nipped it in the bud.
Valeria Vasquez Gomez has a fun jump serve. Check this out. Ace.
Really tricky serve from Vasquez Gomez on the back line, dropping it right in front of the passer. The way that she's able to pop on this ball, it just drops right in front, catching those air pockets. Oh yeah, their celebrations are good.
I mean, when you've played together for 6 years, you're in sync on the celebrations, you know?
You're in sync with everything.
Yeah. Stafford puts it up to Babcock, and Babcock gets the kill. And Emily, Stafford is an outside, but she is an excellent passer. She actually got the assist there to Babcock.
And Stafford's ball control is absolutely incredible. She's one of the best passers on that team, and with ball control in general, with that offseason surgery she had, that was really her focus, just getting good with her ball control in general, with her hands or her platform.
Emily referring to the fact that Stafford had a benign tumor in her tibia that had to be removed last February. And she had a rod inserted from her knee to her ankle, so she was on the sidelines for a long time. And while she was on the sidelines, she used it as an opportunity to develop a lot of things. She would serve from a box. She spent more time around the coaches. And then when she was cleared, Coach Fisher said she was like a lion coming out of a cage, and she hasn't missed a beat. Stafford attacking. Remember, Stafford touches 10-6 even after that surgery. Stafford will get a free ball to attack. Denied, blocked by Nady Okamore.
Good out-of-system set on Pitt's side, but an even better read on SMU side. Okamore stepping in to make that big play, getting right against her right side blocker. Hands pressed so far over the net, perfectly set up block.
Okamore was the ACC Defensive Player of the Week after the upset of Nebraska, the Florida transfer. Stafford going over the block. Point Pitt, net violation.
Already SMU's second net violation just in this first set alone. SMU has to clean it up at the line.
Any reason for that, Emily?
Sometimes when you're playing the most efficient team in the country, you get a little bit aggressive up there. Sometimes that adrenaline's pumping too. You really want to not only get a touch, but you want to stuff them, get a little bit too aggressive and sloppy.
Again, Pitt leads the nation in hit percentage, 351, and now one of the most popular players in recent memory, Kat Flood, back to serve. Flood targeting Tabron in the back row. Nice swing by Chimay, but a good up by Vasquez Gomez, and Stafford tools the block for the kill.
Oftentimes in volleyball, we talk about bettering the ball. Rachel Fairbanks did a phenomenal job of that. Not a good pass, but she found a way to better this second ball. A little bit off balance, still puts up a perfect ball for Stafford to go up and use the block for.
Stafford ripping her 4th kill of the match on 7 swing. Kat Flood back to serve. Pitt 5 points away from the opening set. First 4 sets go to 25, win by 2, and there's another ace by Kat Flood. That is what she does best.
Kat Flood comes in to serve, and she does it pretty dang well. Dropping this ball right on the end line. Does a nice job picking apart serve receives.
Flood from Illinois, but has found a home here in Pittsburgh. In fact, she had the Pittsburgh area code tattooed on her wrist, along with her home area code in Illinois. It's pretty cool. Ooh, wow, that was an interesting take. Again, we talked about the side setting from Cullen, but that was an unbelievable attack. Rally's still going, though. Tabron hammers it, and SMU grabs the point.
Celia Cullen is such a good setter. She's like 13, 14 feet off the net, still can find her middle on this ball. There's another side set. The middle wasn't even ready for it. That's how far off the net she was.
Just glad we got the side set in.
Yeah.
That's a great example of it.
I mean, there's not many setters in the country that are even going to set the middle 11, 12 feet off, but to do it that far off the net tells you just how good Cullen is.
And credit Chimay for being ready for it. And that's not a conventional set by any stretch of the imagination. And Stafford hits it right off of Chimay for another kill. Stafford has been the most lethal player for Pitt in the opening set. That's her 5th kill. She leads the match.
Stafford's gotten it done in different ways. She's really going after that high hand, trying to break fingertips up there.
Olivia Babcock back to serve. Wow. Good serve received by SMU. Stafford goes over the block, kept alive by Cullen. Stafford blocked. Fairbanks setting Babcock. Dug up by Tabron. Fairbanks with options, goes to Stafford. She's blocked. Klicka keeps it alive. Babcock. We're not done. Babcock again. And the block by SMU. What a rally, and that gives you an idea of the tenacity of SMU.
Outlasting Pitt defensively is something you have to do against how good of a defensive team they are. SMU is digging into these defensive plays, doing whatever they can to keep the ball off the floor, and up front, they are not taking plays off.
Bolton serving, serves short. Ryla Jones waiting for the call, and it's going to be Pitt's point. Initially, they held a hand over to SMU's side, and then the officials talked to each other across the court, and it gave Pitt this point.
This was a really good take from Stafford on that pass, allowing it to not disrupt the offense. You might take Stafford out of the play, but you still got to worry about more attackers.
Stafford serving. Middle attack is successful by number 11, Natalie Foster.
SMU needs a lot more of that. Try to get those middles involved in the play just a little bit more. This, of course, depends on the pass and how good that is. But when SMU has a good pass, Cullen has to find her middles.
Foster comes from a basketball family. In fact, that was her sport of choice. Yes, she had to make the ultimate choice, decide to be a volleyball player. Babcock. Good D by Bolton. Free ball here for Pitt. That's usually trouble for the opposition. Not today. The SMU block denying Pitt.
Mustangs block coming alive when they need it most. This is huge for SMU to slow down an insanely efficient offense like Pitt. Good job pressing, not going until they knew exactly where that ball was going. That allowed both blockers to get involved in the play.
Cullen got most of that one. Chimay serving. SMU trying to build a little momentum. Pitt has pretty much put this set away. But the SMU D is just stellar. Vasquez Gomez off hands, kept alive by Bolton. Cullen sends it back. Nice attack by Wheeler. Stafford puts it down, and Pitt has set point. Cullen puts up the set. SMU off the slide. That was Foster. One set point denied, but Pitt has several to work with here. But it'll be SMU's serve. Wheeler serving Vasquez Gomez. Fairbanks puts it up. Bree Kelly terminates to win the set. For all the teams, but she was a libero at West Virginia, so that's why Pitt is so physical as well. They're in incredible shape. Chimay out of the back row to start things for SMU. So for SMU, Emily, what do you think things need to turn around?
The biggest thing is cleaning up some of those errors. They had 6 in just the first set alone in terms of attack errors. Pretty good from the service line, but they need to do a better job of keeping the ball in play.
This SMU team 7-1 on the road this season. That's the same record as Pitt. In fact, they lead the nation in road wins, both of these teams. 2 for 2, 2 swings, 2 kills, and that is out of the middle. Big swing by Natalia Newsom, who has snuck into the match. Newsom did not start. She's a freshman from Arlington, Texas. So Erger's shaking things up in the lineup. Babcock, oh, you're not going to stop that. It's like a dunk in basketball.
SMU has done a pretty good job so far this match controlling Olivia Babcock. Up until that point, she only had 2 kills during the first set. Pitt's going to look to get her going more, though.
I'm sure there's a lot of coaches out there wondering how.
Yeah.
Because Babcock, obviously somebody that is usually impossible to slow down. Cullen with the set to Tabron, and the block goes out of bounds. Babcock was on it, but just directed it out of bounds.
SMU is doing a much better job this set, really going for high hands, not hitting straight into the block, but trying to go over it.
This is one of the things I was looking forward to most in this match, Emily, is how these two coaches coach, because obviously SMU's making some adjustments that are impactful right away, and we'll see how Dan Fisher counters that.
That's what you have to do as a coach. You have to find what your weakness is on the other side and try to exploit that for your opponent. Both sides coaches do a really nice job making those in-game adjustments, but then it depends, okay, now can the players actually execute that?
Sam Erger, in just her 3rd season as head coach, came over from Baylor, helped build that program into a national powerhouse as an assistant. Kat Flood into serve for Pitt. Cullen puts up the set behind her to Tabron. Fairbanks tried to dig it. Vasquez Gomez kept it alive. Free ball here for SMU. Tipped over. Fairbanks puts up the set, and Stafford, what a luxury to have those two on the floor.
Rachel Fairbanks does stuff that makes your jaw drop. She does a great job getting her hands on every play that she possibly can. Watch her bend down here. She's able to find a way to get her hands on this rather than bump set it, so she has a little bit more accuracy, even though she's basically sitting on the floor.
This Pitt team still considers themselves an underdog. Rachel Fairbanks said, we haven't won the national championship yet, so we're still playing as underdogs. And that's a good attitude to have when you're pursuing your first national title after you've been to 3 straight national semifinals.
I love that attitude that Pitt has. They constantly have a chip on their shoulder. There's a lot of powerhouses around the country where you're maybe expected to win national championships. You have a target on your back. What I love about Pitt is even though they've been ranked #1 for the last few weeks, they feel like they're the underdog in every match.
What an impact Newsom has made here to start the second set, coming in off the bench. 2 quick kills.
Massive to have players coming in off the bench. That's why depth is so important. You never know when you're going to have to switch people out for what reasons. Really great job coming in and stepping up.
Newsom's dad, Tony, was a football player at SMU. She was a highly rated recruit. And getting into the mix here early in the second, making the most of her opportunity. You always have to be ready. Tabron serving Vasquez Gomez. Fairbanks saved that to keep it alive. Right side attack. Chimay couldn't put it down. Stafford. Cullen saves it. And again, the block goes out of bounds. Point SMU. Big swing by number 15, Jams Wheeler.
Mustangs are taking big swing after big swing. They're trying to break fingertips up front.
Wheeler coming off her 4th double-double against Boston College. 10 kills, 10 digs. Tabron serving, serves short. That was a point of emphasis for SMU, but it doesn't work as Babcock hammers it.
Babcock's 4th kill of the second set alone, and Pitt isn't even up to the 10-point mark yet.
Olivia Babcock, the National Freshman of the Year last year, and just seems to be even better in her sophomore season. One of the nominees for National Player of the Year early. Good serve, all that spin on that serve. That was amazing. We'd have the end zone camera on that serve. Off the slide, Jones denied. Cullen puts up the set. Good up by Klicka. Stafford blocked. Babcock rears back, fires, scores.
There's Babcock's 5th kill of the second set alone. She is going off. Rachel Fairbanks has to continue to find her in the backcourt right now, as she is in rhythm and that hand is burning.
Babcock, a Californian, so is Rachel Fairbanks, by the way. Dan Fisher loves to recruit California, which is where he's from. Yeah, Babcock has a twin sister. Emily, did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, Natalie. Babcock was invited to play with the senior national team in California last spring. She was the only rising sophomore invited to that training camp. Karch Karai obviously with his eye on Babcock. Another big serve, good receive by Tabron. Chimay attacks, Vasquez Gomez saves it. Stafford from the 10-foot line blocked. And it looks like it was mostly Chimay that got that block, number 7 in black.
Chimay did a really nice job in this out-of-system play, getting her hands all the way there, barely in position to make the play, but comes in at the last second.
So many multi-sport athletes in volleyball. Chimay was an outstanding long jumper in high school track. Bolton with the serve. Stafford terminates, just can't stop that.
Pitt is so tough to stop when they're in system. This is a Panthers team that is also in system at such a high clip. But this is why, because you can send fast tempo outside. And if Tori Stafford is going up hitting a one-on-one or through a seam, it's game over.
Yeah, two of the most dynamic players in the country on the pins for Pitt, Babcock and Stafford. Chimay goes over the block. Nice save by Fairbanks, the setter. Vasquez Gomez sends it. Cullen back to work setting. Foster, good save by Babcock. Stafford, and that's Babcock. And Babcock terminates, and suddenly Stafford and Babcock are getting lethal, Emily.
I mean, they are completely taking over in different ways. Babcock doing such a great job on the right side of the court, whether it's in the front or back row, putting balls down. And Stafford really upped her defensive game here in set 2.
They each have 8 kills. Stafford serving now. Quick set to the middle. That was a nice play, and Wheeler puts it down.
Really nice set from Celia Cullen up front. About 10 feet off the net, forces that side set with tempo and tracks her middle beautifully. Watch this precision on this ball.
It's a little bit of a side set there.
Oh yeah, total side set.
And these are 2 of the best setters in the country. Cullen for SMU, Fairbanks for Pitt. That's Fairbanks setting Jones. Got to go over. Nice D by Pitt. Keep that rally alive. Off the slide, doesn't work. Klicka keeps it up. Babcock, and Babcock just missed.
She's human. Who would have thought, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I thought 9 out of 10 times she makes that shot.
Yeah. That's her power shot, that 5-6 seam between left and middle back right down the line. She just rips balls right there.
Just the second error of the night for Babcock. 16 swings. Vasquez Gomez blocked. Fairbanks calls everybody off. Cullen puts up the set behind her. Stafford with a dig. Babcock doesn't miss that time.
It's just automatic. Anytime you throw the ball up to Babcock, she can find the smallest of seams through the block on the other side or splitting defenders in the back row. She does such a nice job, and that set from Fairbanks leading her so well.
I mean, the beauty of this team is you have the potential of a highlight on every play.
Yeah.
It's not only the way they win points, how they do it. It's just amazing. The athleticism. SMU showing a lot of grit defending right now. Vasquez Gomez off hands, gets the kill. She went low.
Yeah, really nice job from Vasquez Gomez. That set wasn't very pretty out to her. She found a way to better the ball, make it work, just hit high, flat, right at the top of the hands.
Dylan Griffin into serve, having a nice run now. Pitt with a 2-point lead. They won the opening set. Cullen was talking to the up judge. Cullen is the player that is designated to be able to talk to the officials. Coach sending in a message, asking a question. Puts up the set, and a nice approach and kill by Wheeler.
Really good one and done for SMU. Nice job on this pass, leading Cullen in front of the 10-foot line. Another really nice shot on the outside from SMU, going up and over the block for Pitt.
Wheeler's gone over 1,000 kills for her career this season, and it's really nice. She credits Cullen for being able to get over 1,000 kills. Love when that hitter gives the setter some credit for their accomplishments. Cullen, by the way, with over 4,000 career assists. Fairbanks, the setter for Pitt, back to serve. Nice serve. SMU does a good job to receive that serve and stay in the rally and win the point. An attack by the setter, Cullen, gives the Mustangs the point.
SMU has done a nice job in this second set, controlling the top of the net on these 50-50 balls, meaning if they're right over the top, really forcing their dominance and aggressiveness up at the net.
First kill from Cullen. Fairbanks, the setter for Pitt, also with the kill. Both setters getting into the attack. And that is uncharacteristic hit percentage for Pitt, excuse me, for SMU. For Pitt, about where they've been this year. They averaged .351. Ace! Another good serve from Natalie Foster. That's her second ace.
Just an absolute missile coming from the back line. Look how much pace that has, and right between the two passers. That's the exact serve that you want to have.
And also when you're 6'4", the hit point, it's quite an angle coming down to you. Bree Kelly tries to attack. Overpass, Kelly tried to put it away. Good D by the Mustangs. Tabron. And Tabron wins that battle at the net to pick up another point, and SMU has taken the lead.
SMU's pins have done a really nice job barreling through the block of Pitt. The Panthers have to be a little bit more disciplined up front, going low and over on their block.
SMU's won 4 of the last 5 points. Another good serve. Vasquez Gomez gets Foster off the service line, and Pitt ties the score at 12.
A good answer right out of the gates. Vasquez Gomez finding a way to make this work. Fairbanks, another impressive set, nearly on the floor.
Vasquez Gomez, to me, she does so many things for this Pitt team that may not show up on the stat sheet. Just her presence out there really makes them better. Chimay. Klicka will set Babcock, and Babcock obliges with the kill, give the assist to the libero.
Shots up front do not get much better than that. As a front court player, whether on your left or the right, that opposite corner's got to be your best friend.
Babcock becomes the first player in double digits with 10 kills.
8 of those just in this set.
Stafford right behind her with 8. Yeah, good call. Remember, we went into the set, Emily, wondering how SMU had controlled Babcock. Stafford trying to catch up with Babcock. That's her 9th kill.
The tough thing about Pitt is you have to worry about both pins constantly because of how good Stafford is on the left and how good Babcock is on the right. It doesn't matter where they send the ball because they're almost sure for a kill 1 time out of 2.
We will have the top 16 reveal what the NCAA selection committee is thinking in 2 Sundays from now. Not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. It's going to be very interesting to see if Pitt gets that #1 seed. That is into the net, point Pitt. Well, the Panthers are looking like the best team in the country. They are managing SMU. They lead at 15-12 in the second. PI, and when we're talking about the top 4 seeds where Pitt would fall.
Really important to get one of those top 4 seeds because that means that you would host through the regional final. So the first 4 rounds of the NCAA tournament, that's something that the winner of the ACC always got their eye on.
Right now, the ACC is looking very good in the RPI. They have 12 teams in the top 60. But again, a week from Sunday, we'll find out what the committee is thinking before the end of the season. Pitt up 15-12. Here in the second set, Tabron goes over the block. Bree Kelly punches it skyward. Stafford, nice up by Foster. And Chimay attacks, point Pitt though. Called a lift.
Chimay a legal back row attack, so she actually stepped over that 10-foot line. If you're in the backcourt attacking, you cannot put a toe on that line.
It's a 5-0 run now for Pitt. Vasquez Gomez back to serve. Bottom line, Emily, Pitt is just good.
Yeah, it's just good. I think that's been the consensus this season.
Okamura off the slide. Babcock puts it down. Now, the interesting thing about the ACC this year is associate head coach. This guy is the definition of a Pittsburgh guy.
It's so important when you have people a part of your program that really understand the culture rather than bringing people in and kind of having a car wash of assistants. It's been massive for Pitt to have him on this team.
Yeah, he's been an amazing right-hand man for Dan Fisher. And there's another ace for the Pitt Panthers. Valeria Vasquez Gomez rips another ace. She's up to 22 this season. That's her 2nd of the match.
This feels like a mirror of what we saw during set 1. SMU hung with Pitt through the first half of the set. Then Pitt went on a long service run, and SMU couldn't come back.
Off the slide, Okamura. Good dig by Vasquez Gomez. And Babcock, just too much arm.
Pitt is finding ways to make something out of nothing. Chaotic plays happening on the Panthers side. They're able to get out of it with the little plays, just getting the ball high and allowing a player to go up and take a rip.
Vasquez Gomez, 5 kills, 2 aces, 11 digs, a block and an assist. And now how about another ace? Well, the Pitt serve is on fire right now, and SMU takes a timeout.
And Pitt just finding ways to string together points. Valeria Vasquez Gomez.
ACC play. Vasquez Gomez trying to keep it going. And finally missed. Now we need the stat on percentage of misses after timeouts.
Well, that's just good timeout taken by the other side. You stall the team's momentum. When you get into a rhythm back there serving, it's very easy to keep the pressure on. That's why teams take timeouts.
So we'll see if SMU can take advantage of it. They're down by 7 here in the second set, lost the first. Pitt had won 9 straight points. And that just sneaks in an ace by Cullen.
After a long service run during the first set on Pitt's side, SMU had an answer late in that one. They have to have an answer right now if it's going to happen.
4th ace for SMU. Pickett takes that one. Babcock winds up, terminates. 13 kills for Olivia Babcock on 21 swings.
Babcock has been unconscious during the second set. She started off just 2 kills in the first set. Now she's up to 13. So my math's right. It's 11 kills already, huh?
13, yeah, and 11 in this set. She's only taken 21 swings. She doesn't really force it, I don't think, Emily.
No.
Which is why, you know, the first set she didn't have the big numbers. Just content to take what the game gives her. And that is put down on the right side by number 31, Maya Tabron, the 6 rotation player for SMU. It's interesting, Tabron, she is half Swedish. She competed on the Swedish national team for a while, even though she was Californian and started her career in Colorado. Swedish, has a Swedish passport along with an American passport. Quick set to Jones. SMU was ready for it. Okamore, good block. Okamore on the attack. Point SMU.
Good answer from SMU, capitalizing on a broken play on Pitt's side of the net. When you get those easy balls, you have to be able to terminate right away. Great job on SMU's side, handling them and getting the middle going.
Okamore got her degree, her undergrad degree in Florida, and now getting her master's in management at SMU. Good serve. Klicka did a nice job to receive it, and then Stafford trying to put it away. Good up from Tabron. Fairbanks. And out of the middle, Ryla Jones hits hands and scores for Pitt.
Fairbanks doesn't get the middles going too often because the pins are so terminal, but when they do, whether it's Kelly or Jones in front, they do a nice job putting the ball down.
Yeah, it's a good point, Emily, but it's not because they don't have good middles.
No.
They just have outstanding pins, but with the middles as good as they are, they just have so many options. Excellent serve. SMU did a good job to get it back. Stafford attacks, blocked by Okamore. Klicka will set Babcock behind the 10-foot line. A dig from Vasquez Gomez. Babcock. Tabron trying to run it down. Good D by the Mustangs. Stafford!
SMU trying to hang in there, taking hit after hit. The Panthers, though, keeping the pressure on SMU this entire time, just hit after hit. That's what this Pitt team does so well. They are aggressive from start of the point to finish.
Stafford, that was her 10th kill of the match. Babcock back to serve. Pitt closing in on a 2-0 lead. Tabron decided to receive that. It was going to be close. Chimay hitting into that block, tools it, point SMU.
That's one area that SMU has looked really good in set two, is finding ways to use the block to their advantage, going right off of it.
Bolton serving for SMU. Pushes it long, set point Pitt. Chimay attacks. Vasquez Gomez, no. That point is going to be SMU's.
Vasquez Gomez sending this ball over outside of the antenna. Called out of bounds.
You know, we haven't had a challenge yet. Did I just jinx us, you think? Still set point Pitt. Chimay serving. Fairbanks puts it up for Babcock. Good night, Babcock puts the second set to bed with her 14th kill. Number Stafford, though, has 10, and it'll be SMU serving to start set number 3. Must-win set for SMU. Vasquez Gomez goes to the back line. Good save. Tabron attacks, and it is put away. Bree Kelly. Middles.
Yeah, Pitt does such a good job in these out-of-system plays, watching it unfold on the other side and then exploding to the outside, knowing that's who's going to get the ball. Those middles close so well.
Bree Kelly, that's her second kill. 6 swings, no errors. Vasquez Gomez into the net. She mentioned the serve pass game, Coach Erger did, and felt like SMU was hanging with them in the serve pass game. Just in terms of aces, SMU with 4, Pitt with 5. Cullen serving, floats that. Babcock terminates.
SMU is trying to drop these serves short to take Olivia Babcock out of the play. Pitt's just handling them better, getting a perfect pass. They're still able to run Babcock.
Well, that was a point of emphasis. I remember asking you earlier in the match, what's the danger of doing that? And I think we're seeing.
That's the danger, is when you miss a short serve, it becomes too deep, and then it's too easy on Pitt's side. They're handling it and then putting it right back in your throat.
Cap flood into serve. Targets Tabron. Okamore gets the kill out of the middle for SMU.
SMU has done a nice job over the past 2 sets playing with Pitt up until about the 10-point mark. Then Pitt was able to go on long service runs during set 1 and in set 2. SMU has to find a way to keep that intensity from point 1 until the end.
Sam Erger, big believer in getting the middles involved, and that was Okamore doing that. The middle position has really transformed over the years. Ace from Tabron. And so that is the 5th service ace for SMU. Both teams now with 5.
It's really difficult to ace this Pitt team because they're such a good passing team, one of the best in the country. That tells you how good of a serving team SMU has been tonight.
Tabron, more of a target server. And another ace, fired it right at Stafford.
And Tabron doing a really nice job varying up where she's hitting this serve. The first one went deep right in the seam. This time, targets Stafford outside of her body.
So if you're Dan Fisher and you take that timeout, what are you telling Stafford right now?
It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get that ball high. You know Rachel Fairbanks can come off even 10 feet off the net to make a play.
Tabron nets that serve again. Always good to take a timeout after a couple of aces.
Yeah, those feel like a coach's point.
Yeah. Good timeout by Dan Fisher. Pitt trailing by a point, but up 2-0. They've only dropped 1 set all season. Boston College, the only team this year to take a set off Pitt. Stafford. And Stafford, yes! Needed that. That'll build the confidence back up.
Really important when you maybe got aced once or twice in terms of passing. You want to up some other part of your game. Stafford did a really nice job locking in offensively, putting that ball down.
Stafford trailing only Babcock in terms of number of kills tonight. Babcock back to serve, also one of the best servers in the country. Boom. Oh, got it. We may have our first challenge. SMU thinks it was out. And Sam Erger pulling the challenge card to see if that serve was in.
The original call on the court, ball in, point to Pitt. SMU is challenging that the ball was out.
That was an absolute ripper from Babcock, and the ball just dove at the end with the topspin.
I can tell you, I wouldn't want the job of a line judge for Babcock's serve because that's coming like a bullet.
This is the first challenge we've had tonight.
Ooh.
Any part of the ball that touches the line is good, and it has to be clearly out for them to overrule this. Officials called it an ace, but that's on SMU's bench side, and they were right away saying they thought it was out.
Upon review, the call is confirmed. The ball is in, point Pitt.
And another ace for Babcock, her second of the match.
What a serve from Babcock, just ripping this ball, finding ways. That topspin allows it to drop at the last second. If you think a topspin's out, it all of a sudden drops right on the end line. It's a good look at it, right in the back corner too.
So SMU loses a challenge. You get 2 incorrect challenges per match. If we got to a 5th set, each team would get an additional challenge. Babcock serving again. Remember, she had 12 aces, a Pitt record against Boston College. Babcock attacks. If she's not hitting winners from the service line, she's doing it from the right side.
SMU has to find a way to get Babcock off the service line as soon as possible, because when she gets in rhythm, it's lights out for the other team.
Yeah, Babcock would be an incredible serve and volleyer in tennis.
Oh yeah.
Because after she serves, she's halfway to the net. I mean, she's almost in position to hit the kill right, attack right away.
That's what makes a good topspin serve. You want it to come off looking like an attack.
Well, I'd say that would qualify as an attack.
It's absolutely insane what Babcock can do from the end line. I mean, there's players across the world, a player like Melissa Vargas in Turkey, Tijana Boskovic in Serbia. Babcock is going to be up there with the best of them in a few years. This serve is insane.
Worth the price of admission. And Babcock just missed. I mean, that was maybe an inch out. And I think Dan Fisher's going to challenge that.
Yeah, we got to challenge it. I got to know.
Yeah.
The original call on the court was that the ball was out. Point SMU. Pitt is challenging that the ball was in.
Okay. Babcock has just been ripping aces from the back line. Here's the replay. Again, this one's called out.
The line judge is getting his money's worth tonight, huh? Ooh. It's tough to tell if there's blue between the line. This is a good look at it.
Stop.
That looks in.
Yeah.
After review, the original decision is reversed. The ball is in. Point Pitt. Pitt will retain their challenge.
And a third ace for Babcock. Well, you gotta love it. Babcock just firing away, and Dan Fisher challenging that successfully.
Now, if that ball is close to the end line, SMU has to play it.
Babcock up to 3 aces. Pitt has doubled up the score. Another ace! 3 in a row. Timeout SMU.
At Maryland is up there as well, but the heat that Babcock brings, to me, is the best.
Another good serve. Chimay will attack, trying to get Babcock off that service line. They need a side out. Babcock, did she hit hands? Yes. Babcock will continue to serve, and Pitt will continue to build the lead.
Olivia Babcock can just do it all. It's so impressive for a player that's coming off of a National Freshman of the Year honor to come out and then be in contention for a Player of the Year honor. She has just exploded in her sophomore season.
I think training with the national team really helped her last spring. It gave her something to look forward to and see that next level she can attain.
Babcock was the only rising sophomore at the time to play with the national team as well. It does so much for your level of play when you're in the gym with better players that you can learn from, you can take pieces from. And of course, Team USA has some of the best opposites in the entire world with Annie Drews and Jordan Thompson.
One of the characteristics of this Pitt team, I think it helps Babcock to be so good, is they genuinely like each other. There are a lot of smiles on this court. It's a team with fantastic chemistry, and This Pitt team looks like they're having fun when they're playing volleyball.
They constantly do, and it doesn't matter whether they're up 10 or maybe they're down 5. They constantly have the same demeanor, which is so important.
They are fiercely determined to get past the national semis. Nice attack out of the middle. Good D by Pitt. Klicka will send it. Cullen puts up the set. Another attack from Foster. Good save from Babcock. One-armed dig from Bolton. Vasquez Gomez sets a little off. Saved by Stafford. The swing was by Wheeler. Here's Vasquez Gomez again. Block. Klicka keeps it up. Vasquez Gomez off hands. Point Pitt.
Pitt just outlasting SMU. Their defense digging in time and time again. The block up front for the Panthers working so hard to get touches and really slow down SMU's offensive transition.
Pitt has jumped out to a 12-5 lead. Sam Erger talking with our down ref, holding the challenge card, but hasn't officially challenged yet. And now they are going to challenge. Find out what it is.
The original call on the court was that there was a touch on the block by SMU. The point would go to Pitt. SMU is challenging that there was no touch by their blocker.
All right. This would mean SMU's out of challenges if this is not overturned. And yeah, I mean, there's clearly a touch, Emily, don't you think?
Yeah, it definitely looks like a touch. It also could have been earlier in the point where maybe they thought the SMU block touched it, but it just hit tape.
Or they thought there was a touch earlier on Pitt. I've seen that happen before.
Normally you have to tell the ref where in the point. Also could just be slowing down momentum a little bit. SMU wanting to save that last timeout that they have.
After review, the ball was touched by a SMU player. The point will be retained to Pitt. SMU loses their challenge.
So SMU is out of challenges now. Score remains as is, as Pitt was given that point initially. Dan Fisher talking to one of his assistants, Michael Fisher, no relation, but Michael Fisher, incredible practice player against this Pitt team. Chimay attacks, and Chimay terminates.
So here's that last play again, seeing if there was a touch on the ball. Now this was a bit earlier in the play, and you can see it goes off tape and then hits hands and comes down too.
Service error from Chimay. Point to Pitt. Griffin in to serve now for Pitt. Pitt trying to get another sweep. Be their 14th of the season. Ace from Griffin.
Everyone on Pitt's team is dialed in from the end line. They know their serving zones, they're hitting it with heat, and they're doing a really nice job splitting passers, forcing them to communicate about it early on.
Griffin from Foothill Ranch, California. Wearing the Libero jersey right now while Klicka is out. She's a lefty, pushes that out. Yeah, this Pitt team, though, as good as they are, they feel like they have unfinished business, and they play that way.
The way that Pitt has been able to build on the success over the last few years has been so impressive, and the biggest thing right now for Pitt has been having consistency. They finally returned a ton of talent from the last season. We have a player like Babcock back, a player like Rachel Fairbanks Black, who just put that ball down, and Tori Stafford on the outside. They had a lot of changes over the past few seasons, but were still able to make that national semifinal. Now they have the same pieces, and they're willing to make that push extra.
I mean, it's an amazing accomplishment to make 3 national semifinals. In basketball, that would be like making 3 straight Final Fours. But when you don't win that semifinal match and you're at that level, it kind of gets to you. You want to break through desperately.
Especially for a lot of players that have been with this program for so long. Someone like Valeria Vasquez-Gomez in her 6th year, Rachel Fairbanks, a senior. A lot of players on this team who have been around for that run and want to make that extra push. Now Pitt feels like they have the players to do it. They have the team to for postseason. Whether your team is going to be a top 4 seed, meaning they'll host to the regional finals, that equivalent to basketball's Elite 8, or if you're going to get a top 16 seed, meaning that you're hosting through the first 2 rounds of the tournament. We know how important home court advantage is in a tournament setting. It's difficult to win any NCAA tournament match, but it makes it a little bit easier when you're at home for them.
Pitt going for a sweep. Rachel Fairbanks back to serve, the setter. She had a triple-double in the NCAA tournament back in 2022 against BYU. Babcock, we mentioned, had one last weekend. Off the slide, that is nice by Natalie Foster.
If SMU is going to try to make a push, it has to start now, and really from the end line. This is SMU's best server back there.
Again, Foster had not served at Wichita State, where she was an all-conference middle. This is a wonderful part of her game that's been developed. But Bree Kelly with a couple of kills here, and the last few points for Pitt is the Pitt middles getting in the action.
Pitt's middle's able to get going because Stafford handled that pass well, and Fairbanks, even 10 feet off the net, found a way to get Kelly going in the middle.
Fairbanks with 36 assists. Stafford has 3. Again, Stafford, one of the better passing outside hitters. Tabron thought she had it put down. Vasquez-Gomez with a good dig. And then Babcock comes flying in.
If you're leaving Olivia Babcock open with that much net, you better put your helmet on and run the other way because you're going to get hit hard.
Speaking of getting hit hard, I think some of the football teams here tonight. Pitt women's volleyball team is one of the most popular teams at Pitt. They were the first women's program to make a national semifinal in any sport here. That was back in 2021. Vasquez-Gomez, outstanding student, as well as All-American volleyball player, back to serve. Back row, Chimay just missed it long, point Pitt, and the Panthers continue to march toward the sweep. They hit the 20-point mark first. We go to 25, win by 2. If Pitt wins this set, match is over. SMU has to win it to keep it going.
Sam, to echo your point from earlier, Pitt's just like really good.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing them live, I think, is different too. You watch them on TV all the time, but the height that this team gets and the ability to just continually push their opponents in every area of the game. Defensively, they're elite up front and they dig everything in the back row. Then when you have pins like Tori Stafford and Olivia Babcock, this team looks unstoppable right now. I don't know if a team can take them down, at least in ACC play.
Yeah, it's a bit deceptive because this is a very good SMU team. Probably will be a top 16 seed in the NCAA tournament if things continue the way they've gone. And this just speaks to how good Pitt is. And they are like a freight train rolling downhill right now.
There's a reason why Pitt has only lost one singular set this entire year. They are dominant on both sides of the game, and they never let up, no matter the score.
They go on these big runs. They had an 8-0 run earlier. They're now in the midst of a 6-0 run now. Overpass, Stafford! And that brings the fans on their feet. Pitt loves playing at home, and they have been embraced by this Pittsburgh community. The Pitt women's volleyball team, a big deal in this city that shares the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tabron missed it out, no touch. Match point, Pitt. Treme setting Tabron. And Tabron sides out for SMU. They stay alive for another point. It remains match point Pitt. Cullen will rotate back to serve. Fans remaining on their feet. Fairbanks setting Stafford. And Stafford wins the match for Pitt.